Everybody knows that nobody is as pathetic as Tipster. Nobody is as pathetic as Tipster. We have established that Tipster is the top pathetic person, right? But iDubbbz is really getting close. And I think that iDubbbz needs to be bullied. I think people need to make Ian bully streams, dude. Because his podcast called Maximum Damage, She Ruined My Career. We've covered this many times on Mayo Monkey. This is a gold mine for reacting to on stream. This is an untapped gold mine of cringe. This entire podcast is all content worthy to react to. I was reacting to random parts with King of Nothing on a stream a couple months ago. And like, every single thing on this channel is horrible and barely anyone know about it. And it's called She Ruined My Career. It's amazing. And everybody needs to watch it. And react to it and make content off of it. Because this is a gold mine right now. Someone could make an entire video on this podcast, like an essay on this podcast, which someone needs to do eventually. Anyway, this podcast, like, I don't hate it. I'm not like, fuck you, Ian. Fuck you, Aniza. You ruined my childhood because I like Content Cop. It's nothing like that. He's just so fun to make fun of, Ian. So funny. Like, even without the Content Cop and like iDubbbz stuff in mind, let's just say nothing about iDubbbz exists until like Creator Clash starts, Creator Clash 1. So like, let's say the last 2-3 years of iDubbbz, just that in isolation is funny as fuck. And nothing exemplifies it more than this fucking segment, which is the worst section of the podcast I watched, titled Ian's Dating Advice, which I clipped, and I was clipping it in real time and watching it in real time, and I was gonna make it for Twitter, and usually Twitter videos for people without Twitter Blue are about like 2 minutes 40 seconds, so I wanted to keep the clip short, but I was watching live and I just couldn't press the stop recording button because everything I was hearing was just so insane. But this is what I posted on Twitter, which, by the way, it's already got, so this podcast has 5K views, and my video has 800K of them, so most people have seen it through this. Dude, if I were iDubbbz, I'd be so pissed. This is the most notoriety the podcast has probably ever gotten, just in this tweet. This is the most painfully uncomfortable thing I've ever... And I wasn't exaggerating, dude. For some reason, guys, I am actually really resilient to cringe. Like, other people say stuff's awkward and cringy, and I can see logically why it is, but I don't feel the knot in my stomach. I don't feel the cringe. Sometimes I will if it's like me in the past, and it's like, oh, I wish I didn't say something that way or whatever. I can cringe, but it's very hard for me to cringe. This segment made me cringe, and it was legit the most painfully uncomfortable thing I've ever listened to. And now you are gonna listen to it, and you're welcome.
This is iDubbbz's dating advice segment. Ooh.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm giving the people what they want. They've been asking for it for weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
Dating advice?
Yes.
Where?
Everyone's been asking for dating advice on the... Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're like, oh, you bagged a cool one. Tell me how.
Dude, even she knows no one said to Ian, you bagged a cool one.
First, it started as like a advice on like how to decide on what home you should buy to get like a lot of value in a...
So, new segment, right? iDubbbz's dating advice. He intros it. Guys, dating advice from iDubbbz. They want to know how I bagged a cool one. First thing he brings up. So, you know, dating, it kind of reminds me of property and house and buying a house. Like, what? So he immediately compares women to property. That's the first thing, the first piece of advice that comes out of iDubbbz's mouth when it comes to having a successful relationship is comparing them to property, dude. Comparing them to literal house property. It's just, okay.
One guy was describing it on TikTok as like, I love trains, so I would buy a house near some train tracks. And for me, that would be awesome and wouldn't bother me and my lifestyle at all. Meanwhile, everyone else on the market in the scene, they would be like, oh,
on the market,
because I'm afraid that the train will wake me up or it'll be disturbing or something about it.
That's such a confusing and stupid way. Well, not super confusing, but it's like unnecessarily complicated way to say you might need to put up with some of the things that your partner may like that you are not the biggest fan of.
I don't mind any hair length on you. You could be bald. Mm-hmm. Your hair could be down to the floor. Mm-hmm. Any hairstyle.
The look in fucking Anis's, okay, I might be so psychoanalyzing, but like the look in her eyes is very much like, really, dude, I'm just gonna like sit here and wait for your dumbassery to finish. Like, zero respect, I feel. Anyway, so his first piece of advice, to combine it with like his train house analogy. I know I was joking about women property thing, but like his first real point of dating advice is that don't be picky about like their hair length or like their fashion. Okay, like if people are legitimately looking for dating advice from Ian Jamha, iDubbbz's, I don't even think they can get to the step where they have multiple choices to pick a specific hairstyle. It's not like these guys are having girls come to them and he's like, hair too long, next. Well, I would imagine anyone who would need dating advice from Ian wouldn't even be at the level where they have options to pick hair. I don't know. Like, what is this advice? How is this going to help anyone? Dude, does Ian expect anybody to listen to this podcast and then later, like years down the line, be like, yeah, I'm now married to my wife and it's because of the dating advice you gave on Maximum Damage? Probably not. But then if you don't think that's going to happen, like, what's the point of the segment? It to be entertaining at your own expense? Like, this is a whole mystery I have for, like, kind of iDubbbz's content in general, not even, like, his podcast, She Ruined My Career, but, like, his more recent videos. Like, who are they for? Like, does he ever think, like, if I were a viewer and watching this, what would I get out of it, and what would I be glad that I saw? Like, it feels like they're just blabbing and yapping without, like, thinking about what the audience would enjoy listening to. But then again, nobody listens to this, so maybe they just don't care because the views are so low. I don't blame them.
Through all the different, like, options of hairstyles, and I'm like, yeah, they're all fine. I don't care. Mm-hmm. And that kind of opens you up for like a lot more options that, you know, you didn't necessarily consider. So he thinks people are like, nope, hair length has to be this long or else I'm out. I have a hair length limit. And if I see that the hair is too short or that the fashion's off, I don't even consider it. I don't even think about it for a second. They're basically like a guy to me, dude, or whatever gender you're not attracted to. They're basically like my fucking grandpa at that point. I don't fucking care. But the second that hair gets an inch longer, ooh, I'm going in for the kill. When someone asked for dating advice, I didn't know it was like gonna be talking about hair half the time. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, how is this useful? Like, this is more like sexual preference, like what I'm personally attracted to or what gets me the hardest kind of talk, not really dating talk. Like, talking about body hair, and obviously they're gonna talk about, you know, sexual areas and stuff like that, but that's not dating, that's sex. This is sex advice. Like, don't be picky about who you fuck. I feel like they're two separate, like, they're very close together. Like, if you date and, like, you get in a relationship with someone, you're gonna want to fuck them. I guess people maybe do break up with each other based on, like, their dick not being big enough. I don't fucking know. But generally, you would date and then having sex is, like, something that, like, comes with being in a relationship just naturally. But I do feel like they're kind of, like, separate, you know?
I think that's my fault.
Arm hair.
Like 4 years ago, I just stopped shaving as often. And I think you've just had to get used to it.
No, that's not true.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You shave all the time.
No, I only shave when I'm doing OnlyFans.
No, I think you're...
So, Ian's right that she does shave, and he thought it was for him, but she clarifies, oh, only for OnlyFans.
No, I won't shave for like 3 weeks on my armpits sometimes. Sometimes I look down, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah,
they're saying this publicly to an audience as a form of entertainment, by the way.
Armpits, I don't even fucking care about.
Like, unironic entertainment. Well, like, what do they expect their fans to be like? Like, yeah, oh my god, dude, did you see the episode where Nisa talked about her body hair? Oh my god, I'm so glad Ian finally addressed whether or not he thinks, like, armpit hair is, like, shaven and, like, the specific amount for what he considers shaven or not. Like, I'm so glad he went into the details on that because, oh my god, I, like, just, ever since I watched Content Cop Keemstar, I just really want to know his opinion on, like, you know, body hair. Since Keemstar has a lot of body hair, I guess. I don't know. There wasn't any correlation. I tried to make one, but Like, what?
No,
Why does anyone care about that?
Why does anyone care about this podcast, bro?
fucking-
To laugh at.
Under your
That's
arm.
why I
No,
care,
I
and
know,
that's
I
why I
agree.
clipped. Dude, Ian should thank me, dude. No one would know his podcast existed if it weren't for my tweet, bro.
Who's like sexually attracted to armpits.
There we go. So before you could have been like, well, he's not talking sexually. He's just talking about like hair in general and stuff like that. I don't even know how he's in a relationship if he's like conflating dating advice with like sex preferences. Like it's different.
Okay, so body hair. What about like height? Like maybe you're a guy who doesn't
Yeah.
mind tall women.
Yes.
You could bag a
I'm
9
also
or
in that
10.
category. I don't care how tall you are.
Yeah.
I mean, although I haven't been with anyone who's taller than me.
It's very hard to be taller than you as a woman.
Yeah. But I don't know. Seems interesting.
We all understood that, right? It's harder for Ian to be taller than a woman and date someone taller than him because Ian's already tall. And most women are not over the height of Ian. So even if Ian didn't mind dating tall women, he wouldn't know because most women aren't taller than him. Now listen to the producer.
I have a question. Why is it hard for a woman to be taller than the man?
What for him? Well, because he's
No.
6'2".
What you just said, it's very hard for a woman to be taller than the man.
No, I said taller than you, him specifically.
Huh? Oh, it's very, very rare.
It's hard for a woman to be taller than him. It would be difficult to find a woman.
Oh,
It'd be
rare.
difficult to grow. Well,
When you say hard, I thought it was like difficult.
It was more poetic language.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
same thing,
Sorry,
though,
I
but
just misinterpreted what you said.
it's difficult to find a woman out there that is
Yeah. To find.
taller than
Got
you.
it.
Yeah, fire that guy. Literally fucking fire that guy, dude. The podcast is not like the greatest, so, whatever, but that guy's like objectively horrible at his job.
You're 6'1".
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of women
No,
that.
you're right. It is rare.
Yeah.
I thought you were. My bad.
It's hard to date someone.
No. Dane was right.
You keep. I think
like
you.
saying it that way.
No, I
wonder.
get what you're saying. It's
Yeah.
just that you understand that that's why I was confused, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why do you like saying it that way instead of hard to find someone? Because that gives you all the information that you need.
What a great conversation. Dude, literally, they're still yapping about it. Still. Dude, how? How is this content? Cut this out. Even if it happens because your producer's a retard, cut it out in editing. What is this? How long have they been talking about? We're at 37 minutes, 40 seconds. When does the producer interrupt?
Yeah.
We're
Why
timing this.
is-
We got to be accurate, dude. We're going to get the timer out.
I was just trying to clear up why I put words in your mouth.
Yeah.
It was a minute 30, guys. You're all wrong. No one gets mod.
What I'm saying is, if you're trying to find that special someone, find some things that you can stand about people or that you like in people.
This is what he should have said at the beginning. So there was like 6 minutes of uselessness?
Just because it doesn't really matter. Like, I don't know, there's aspects of like, I think particularly like sexuality, like it doesn't, I've realized that just isn't a component to like getting me off.
What?
Idea that someone has long hair or naked armpits or anything like that. I'm like,
Okay.
I can fucking cross these things off a list for sure.
Yeah.
What?
Like, it's not important.
They're just people, dude. They're like, what? Like, this is like the most like weird, like dehumanizing thing. And I know like when you talk about dating, you're talking about like getting the girl or getting the guy or whatever. And in a sense, like the discussion around it is going to be like kind of selfish and, ooh, what I want or whatever. But like the way he's talking, like he's talking like this is like when I think about giving dating advice, I'm thinking about like, how you would interact with a person and, socializing with them, not do you like their hair length? Like, how's this dating advice? This is, I don't know, staring and having a crush and doing nothing about it advice.
What is needed to get you off?
What a great question. I didn't watch this far ahead. I'm like so close to clicking off. I wasn't lying when I said this is like the most painfully uncomfortable thing. I think Adam22 talking about like Lina the Plug getting like fucked by a bunch of other dudes is less cringe than what I'm listening to here. And it's funny to laugh at. I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way. Like I would rather have the current version of Ian than content copy Ian, which is probably a super hot take to hear. I prefer having current Ian over 2017, Ian? Because it's like everybody can make like really good commentary videos, and a lot more people can than back then. We have enough of that. Nobody can be as like fucking pathetically funny as Ian in the way he is. I 100% prefer this timeline than like the based I'm gonna stay a content cop forever timeline. But Sensitive Society has a video on iDubbbz's now. I kind of want to check it out, dude.
I don't know why anyone would upload this clip right here. It's straight up 3 minutes of why. Why, iDubbbz, why? So the YouTuber Bowblax made this tweet, and it says, "This is the most painfully uncomfortable thing I've ever watched. And in a few hours, this has over 100,000 views. Give it a few days, and I'm sure it'll have, 500,000. And this seems to be from a podcast that both Ian and his wife do together. The channel is called Maximum Damage, and I guess the title is She Ruined My Career, episode 19.
Dude, everyone's discovering how bad the podcast is, dude. Everyone's fucking finding out now. Almost 1 million people. And dude, so many people bookmarked this. Look, 2K bookmarks. Dude, 2K people are like, I need to react to this later. Like, this is insane, dude. And I was kind of like used to it. This is like the worst example of the iDubbbz's podcast that I've seen. But I'm sure there's like worse moments that I just haven't watched yet because I don't regularly watch the podcast. I only do it here and there to laugh at it on stream specifically or with friends in Discord. So, like, I really have not seen, like, barely anything of this podcast. And there were moments that were, like, pretty close to being as bad as this one. So there might be, like, even worse moments. I just happened to be watching this one. I could have gone a better example. This podcast, the Maximum Damage, She Ruined My Career podcast, is a goldmine. And you know what? I need to actually go and like probably download all episodes. And everybody should be downloading every episode of She Ruined My Career because eventually that shit is gonna be deleted. They're gonna be too embarrassed and delete the channel and delete the videos, right? It's good content in terms of to laugh at it and stuff, so we gotta preserve it. It's worth preserving. So download that shit, dude. Cause that's getting deleted in a year or two, like for sure.
This is what it's like to listen into the Theater Tech Kids combo. Anisia and Ian have more of an awkward co-worker dynamic than a romantic dynamic. This is absolutely cool. Yeah, that's something else that I want to point out. Like, it feels like they have no chemistry, which is crazy considering they've been married for years. Like, it's just so dry. And people are right. Kind of feels like I'm talking to a co-worker. Also, how was Lil Bobby's soccer game? Oh, it was good. He scored 3 points. Oh, that's great. That is great. So 3 points, huh? Yeah, 3 points. Okay, yeah, that's crazy. I mean, how old is he? Like 10? He's killing it, So how's your wife? That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting from here. And they're supposed to be married. Like, just compare these to any other YouTuber couple. I don't know. Pick one. And the difference is not in day. It's actually...
Yeah, literally. It's insane, dude.
But it's like no one is watching the podcast. I mean, my second channel where I talk about music, cheap plug, by the way, please follow it, is pulling, better numbers. And I promote it like every few months. And on top of that, why would you watch this? There's no entertainment whatsoever. Like, a lot of people give shit, and including myself, to the H3 podcast, but at least it's entertaining from time to time. They talk about interesting shit. They talk about drama.
That is so true. The H3 podcast is way more entertaining. It's crazy to say because the H3 podcast does have a lot of boring elements, in my opinion, right? I know a lot of people like it, and I can see the entertainment value in it. But for me, I just think the H3 podcast generally is more on the boring side. But it's miles better than Ian's podcast. Miles better. Miles better. For sure.
No. What you just said, it's very hard for a woman to be taller than the man.
No, I said taller.
Where did this fucking guy come from? I have never seen him in my entire life. What the fuck? He was popped out.
Dude, like this random guy coming in. Yeah, dude. This fucking... He has such a distinct look, too. It's like thick glasses, headphones, over a hoodie, over a toque. Can you even hear the, like, audio through like that? Like, what is this? What is it? Like, is this like a look? Is it like, this looks like it's about to be like a profile picture. Like, this is the look. Like, this is my, like, how Quite has like the green hoodie and then the sunglasses and the mask. It's like that. Like, this is his character. This is his look. Because beyond that, I don't know what the fuck he's doing. Like, he does this every day? Like, he goes on his computer, puts on his toque, puts on his hoodie, and then puts on his headphones. Anisa probably watched this video and is like mauling super hard. What the fuck? Dude, they might talk about how their clip went viral on Bowblax's Twitter for the next episode of like, she fucked my life.
1 week later.
In the last podcast, there were so many weirdos.
Oh.
Yeah, because we got, I think,
Like horny?
No. We got inundated with more of like the types that were like, oh, this moment was so embarrassing for you, Ian. And it was like, what the hell? Like, no, for me, it was embarrassing. For me, it wasn't.
What was the embarrassing? What was the embarrassing moment?
I don't know. I think it was the one where I was talking about like, it was either something that you said to me. Oh, you know what it was? I think it was the comment about like, you sort of offhandedly said like, oh, I only shave for OnlyFans or whatever. Something like that.
I only shave. That's true.
Yeah. Well, you would shave for me though. If I needed you to shave for me, you'd shave for me.
If you cared, but the amount of times you've told me not to shave, you're like, I don't give a shit. Why do you care? There's been times where I've been like, I don't want to because I haven't shaved and I don't want to whatever. And you've been like, no, it's literally fine. Can we please just like, so the reason why I don't shave for you is because you don't seem to care. And what I do OnlyFans shoots like once.
We shave for me, Anissa. I need you to shave.
What? Okay, but also like because I do shave for OnlyFans shoots, it's always like not out of control. It's just like it's like a moon cycle, right?
Oh, like a period cycle.
Oh, true.
Shaving coincides with the period.
True, kind of does because I don't like taking photos during my period.
Yeah. I mean, it's all part of the universe's algorithm. It's meant to be.
He doesn't shave for me.
No, but men aren't supposed to shave for women. That's not true.
Oh, wait. What's up, Bowblax?
Yo, what's up? Dude, I was listening to your stream, and I'm getting the same fucking, like, uncomfortable feeling that I got when looking at the initial clip. So they're responding to, like, I guess me saying I was like extremely uncomfortable by watching their clip. Yeah. And now I'm getting extremely uncomfortable watching their response. Not because of anything in iDubbbz's past or whatever, but because I don't want to hear about a couple's like, I don't know, shaving.
True. Why do I want to know about this? Why do I want to know about Nissa's pussy hair?
Yeah, I clicked on it to see iDubbbz give dating advice. Now I didn't look for it earnestly, obviously we were gonna laugh at it, but it's like we see the segment,
it's
Ian's
hilarious
dating advice, you click on it and he talks about like body hair and shit. Yeah, I'm gonna get number one, that's not good dating advice because what the fuck, and then number two, it's like I'm just extremely uncomfortable. So it was literally the most uncomfortable thing
I said this. Yeah, I said this when I covered it at first. It's just like, it's so hilarious because the core things that iDubbbz brought up in his dating segment were so obvious, but it's like some of them were right too. He was just saying, you know, find a girl that you can compromise on, that you don't really like care, and that you guys can, you know, come to an agreement on about a lot of things. But his examples weren't compromise or not compromising or like finding good values in family life, in kids, in marriage potentially, in commitment or religion. No, his examples of finding compromise in a relationship is pussy hair, armpit hair, and how long his wife's hair is on the top of her head. Those were his examples, and that's fucking hilarious.
Living near a train.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, unironically, fucking it wraps around to being misogynistic again. Where he just is like, his first example is comparing women to trains, which obviously, you know, it's funny to laugh about. But on his side of the internet, you know, that would be viewed as misogynistic, that he's comparing women to property.
Dude, I don't even, this whole response from them though is like complete cope, because there's like, how did he not like understand what I was saying in my tweet? Because obviously that's kind of what he's referencing there. And my tweet has more views than their entire podcast combined, all episodes. But like, it's like, it was extremely uncomfortable to watch, but he's acting as if I said, oh, he's uncomfortable or embarrassed or whatever. No.
It's just why it's like, why is this public? That's the critique, you know?
I'm uncomfortable watching it. Yeah. I'm uncomfortable. I don't know. I don't want to hear about Anissa's OnlyFans and pussy or whatever. And then later in this clip, I don't know if you got to the part yet, but they try to like change it in a way where it's like, oh, you really care about Anissa's pussy hair?
And it's like, no, no, we don't.
Like her? No, we don't. What? I'm not gonna sub to your OnlyFans.
That's always the cope response. It's like, dude, why are you so obsessed with me? Why are you so obsessed with my pussy hair? Well, I'm not. I don't want to see it. Get that away from me. Okay? Why are you saying it publicly? Why are you talking about your pussy hair getting shaved for other men on OnlyFans publicly?
I wanted to hear dating advice from Ian, not about Anissa's pussy hair. Like,
Yeah.
this is why Anisa was never, like, a popular creator, and, like, she kind of, like, got a lot of her notoriety off of, you know, dating iDubbbz, is because she's boring as fuck. She ruins the podcast, dude.
Yeah.
Like, what if you're still, like, a legitimate fan of iDubbbz? You're, like, holding out. You're like, I remember the content cop gaze. He hasn't changed that much. He just gained some empathy, whatever. And you watch this, and you're, like, actually wanting to hear the iDubbbz dating advice, and then you just get to hear about Anisa's pussy and OnlyFans.
True.
Like, it's ruining the podcast!
Yeah.
But
And this response is just pure cope.
While Ian was narrating,
it's so stupid.
and then he just like, I was like, this is kind of creepy, and then he just stopped, and now it's just like forever a bush. You don't give it. You've never even asked me how I feel about it.
No.
What is naring?
Dude, I love how through this kind of, I don't know what naring is, but I love how through this drama, like, well, I don't love it, actually hate it, but it's kind of funny that we learned, like, randomly about, like, Anisa's, like, pussy shaving routine, just, like, by happenstance through what they say in response to us saying we're uncomfortable. Like, why are they going more in depth in the response? By the way, here's more details about how I shaved my
response.
pussy, in case you didn't know.
Yes, her response of people like you know, talking about how uncomfortable this is to not only explain her method of shaving her pussy, but then explaining iDubbbz's method of how he used to shave his fucking pubic hair. Apparently Nair is hair removal cream. And now she's talking about how he used to do that at first, but now he's just rocking a bush. Why do I know that iDubbbz has a fucking bush?
Yeah, this is a fact that we needed to know about iDubbbz.
Like, dude.
So glad he has a podcast so he can tell us.
and then he just like, I was like, this is kind of creepy. And then he just stopped, and now it's just like forever.
She's doing it again. She's incapable of not humiliating her husband. She's saying, I find this creepy, the way that you're removing your pubic hair, iDubbbz. What?
For a bush. You don't give it. You've never even asked me how I feel.
To be fair, he's not actually embarrassed because, for whatever reason, he's not embarrassed by his wife saying this stuff online. But like,
no, it's because he just
uncomfortable
won't disagree.
to hear.
He won't disagree with his wife. He's completely buck broken, dude.
Hair is quite disturbing, and it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
This cope is insane.
So it's like talking about it publicly is just uncomfortable. Like, whether it's embarrassing, I guess, is up to like people's interpretation or whatever. I was just uncomfortable as fuck, and that's what my caption was.
Dude, the critique is just why is it public?
I guess he can call me a pussy.
And he's like calling
uncomfortable.
Yeah, he's like calling people like, yo, you guys are just immature kids who just can't have real conversations with the grown-ups table. No, the grown-ups table should not be about pussy, hair, your wife.
Like, yeah, I might have this conversation with like a significant other or something like that, but not like in private.
Yeah, and
like,
not the internet.
I'm not gonna be like afraid of saying, ooh, pussy hair or whatever. But in the context of me being a viewer wanting to see dating advice from iDubbbz, him divulging into that personally made me feel extremely uncomfortable.
Yeah, and especially if you're in iDubbbz's position with the greater context involved here, where everyone's been making cuck jokes about him since his wife started an OnlyFans. I mean, it's just, of course, it's hilarious. It's something to laugh at.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's also funny because of iDubbbz's history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They asked him in the dressing room.
To be honest, like, yeah, the comment section, it's a little bit therapeutic to like indulge that a little bit because it is so creepy how much other people seem to care
about my pubic hair length.
Yeah.
That is so stupid. I care. I wanted to hear iDubbbz's dating advice for a meme. Let's not. I don't
do you care,
give a
bro?
fuck about Anisa's pubic hair. I don't want to see Anisa naked. I'm not gay, but I just don't want to see another man's wife naked.
I think you do, dude.
And I'm not attracted to every single woman on the planet. I don't know what. I
think
why
Smaggle
is
does.
This? What the fuck, dude?
Oh, creepy.
You're
how much
homo.
This is they're getting all of this just from me saying I'm painfully uncomfortable by a 4-minute clip of their podcast.
It's like, dude, why are you
what?
so upset? Why are you so obsessed with my pussy, bro? Like,
people seem to care
about my pubic.
You're offering it to the public.
Hair length.
Yeah, because it's like I think the criticisms
question
are
was,
it's boring.
What dating advice can you give iDubbbz? Not, hey, what's your wife's pussy hair length? That wasn't the question you were answering. That's not what the segment was called. Like,
yeah,
we're super engaged when it comes to the length of hair.
I mean,
or the
they're
amount of
commenting
hair.
on it.
They can't fathom why people would be particularly uncomfortable or laughing at this section of your dating advice segment. You can't even fathom it. This is what I mean when I say that iDubbbz has completely fucking changed and been warped,
dude.
Man. Because if you
iDubbbz...
remember, back in the day, even when the first OnlyFans drama came out, you know, at least he was recognizable, and he would say things in the sex workers video, saying like, "Hey man, everybody making jokes, you know, it's funny." Like the whole iDubbbz cuck meme. Like he's self-aware enough to acknowledge that it's funny, but now that's completely gone. He's not even self-aware enough to understand why people would be laughing at this.
Yeah, and it's so funny that he says that like, oh, I can't even understand the perspective of why someone would be uncomfortable by me like randomly talking about my wife's body hair like that on a podcast. Meanwhile, he preached that he's been gaining empathy and been trying to see other people's point of views, like black people.
Okay.
But now he can't see points of views. It was a grift the whole time.
Do you know what we need?
Freudian slip.
We need
That's a Freudian slip, dude.
We need a what is our we need a black commentator to come in and give his take. So then iDubbbz will instantly agree and empathize. Okay.
Yet they're super engaged when it comes to the length of hair or the amount of hair.
They're commenting on it. It's not like that was at the beginning of the podcast. That's like in the.
You gotta get deep.
That's deep.
You gotta travel.
They've traveled to that destination to care about my body.
Like, you know, that way. That's the beginning of the chapter.
Yeah, it's literally a chapter of dating advice.
What is the word? Uncomfortable, or what was the word that was used?
I think it was uncomfortable or cringe or something like that.
Was that I don't shave specifically for every time we have sex?
No, I think it was more.
This whole approach to responding to drama too is just so it just feels performative, where you know you get shit on publicly and then you come on air acting as if you don't know at all what's happened, or you don't know at all what people have been saying. Yeah. You're acting so aloof, like, is that really what people are saying? Damn, that's so crazy. I haven't seen any of the people shitting on me. I've barely read any of the threads of people like calling me gay. Like, yes, you have, and it's very clear.
That observation is so good with the freeze frame you have. You look at her face and it's like half fake, half real smile. It's like they're trying to respond in a way where they're like huge YouTubers, so they can like pretend that like, oh, I'm too busy, I didn't really see what's going on. But the difference here is that their podcast gets like a fraction of the views of what even a regular tweet of mine would get, right? So it's like
it's hard, right? Because everyone's like criticisms or comments are so like blanket. You can sort of apply it to any point in time in the video and be like, yeah, uncomfortable. It's like, what point?
I also would argue that
stamp it for me.
We're just uncomfortable people.
The entire part made me uncomfortable.
Yeah, wait, he obviously saw the tweet because he's referencing exactly what you said, like verbatim, uncomfortable.
Yeah, he saw the tweet for sure.
Yeah.
Because that was the tweet that blew it up. Like everyone, like people made videos off of that tweet. Like there's like Sense of Society made a video and he's like, this tweet Bowblax man, and like everyone's referencing that tweet.
Yeah, like he knows.
So he knows, but it's like, so.
But it's like this acting aloof, like, yeah, this is what I think this is what people were saying, as if you weren't in your bed all fucking night scrolling through all the hate comments. Like, come on, man. I just hate this approach where it's like, yeah, I guess people have been saying this. Isn't that so crazy? It's just so performative.
Yeah. And the clip was kind of long. I did show like 4 minutes of the stream, but literally I was uncomfortable the entire time. Me recording that was actually watching it in real time because I watched the first bit and then I was like, this is cringe. And then I started recording it and I literally had to cut it off at a certain point. I wanted to cut it off around 240 because that's usually the typical length of a Twitter video. But it just kept being more and more cringe.
Yeah.
I just forced it cut off at 4 minutes. I could have made it longer, but the whole thing made me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable people. I feel like when we go to like the cafe and the baristas always try to talk to us, we're just uncomfortable. You know,
we're just uncomfortable people. That's why I talk about my pussy hair live.
We look like we're gonna crawl out of our skin at any moment.
I didn't say they were uncomfortable people. I said I was uncomfortable watching it. They're like retarded. They're being retarded on purpose, dude.
Oh yeah,
and that's, I mean, maybe that's the appeal for maybe people like it.
Yeah, well, I think, I mean,
some
to be
people
honest, like for chronic internet users, that should be very relatable. The idea that you like,
projection,
socially awkward, don't like social interactions.
Well, small talk,
other social related things.
It's not liking small talk.
This guy's just obsessed with projecting his old self onto everyone else because he self-admits that like he would barely leave the house when he was like 26, 27 when he did content.
Yeah, I don't think like if you're online a lot or you have your job online that you're like antisocial by nature.
Yeah, but that's basically the response. He then goes to a small talk conversation. Then the other riveting parts of the podcast: Home Depot paint. Wow, I'm fucking chiming into that one. I'm tuning in there.
I said this in my like initial reaction. I say this every time I react to this podcast. I've reacted so many times. But Ian does not know what his target demographic is or have any sense of what a viewer would want to watch. Who the fuck wants to listen to Home Depot paint discussion, bro?
Yeah. Uber Eats destroys lives, TikTok game, and lastly, Warfare Traps educational content. Office decorations based. But that's the quick iDubbbz's response to the controversy of his wife's pussy lips.
Oh shit,
Hello?
someone's calling me. I guess I have friends, dude. Gotta go. See ya.
Yeah, see ya, dude.